Welcome to the Cookie Chat, and it is Wind Down Wednesday, episode 11. We really appreciate you guys jumping on and come enjoy a nice little wind down of your evening and just hanging out with some cookie friends. We would love to have you. Welcome. Come on in. Look at you guys. Yay! Thanks for joining again, and comments are on. Perfect. Hello. Oh my gosh, you guys, I will say, doing the live without chit-chatting with you guys, that's different. That is different. Let me see. I'm going to see if Melissa is on. Are you there, girl? Yep. I'm going to send your request on, and we will get started.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's like you never left.
Okay, my charger is now.
Perfect.
Hallelujah.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. How many of you guys were watching?
That's what I was just saying.
Too.
I was like, how weird is it to be talking? Like, it was weird talking to you without them. I'm like, oh, I forget people are watching this.
I know. It's going to be like if we move to podcast one day. It's going to be so, different.
Oh, my gosh. I know. At the cookie meetup, people were like, can you do podcasts? I'm like, oh, we missed the chit-chats. Like,
oh, we'll figure out a happy medium.
Definitely. Yay! Thank you guys for watching. If you caught the first one, we're so sorry. We know the second is never as good as the first.
I know,
but
and I would be intrigued to know, did we miss anything that you guys specifically remember when we recorded it live? Let us know that you guys found especially helpful.
Oh my gosh, my clip is.
I'm not it didn't look as blonde in my mirror, but it really is more blonde, huh?
Yeah.
She did a good job.
She did. It's beautiful. You look so tan. I'm so jealous. So jealous.
We tan in this family, man.
Yeah, I live in one of the hottest states, and probably because we avoid going outside. Like, I don't get tan sitting in front of this window.
Oh yeah, that could totally be true.
Yeah, very much. What are you guys drinking for Wind Down Wednesday? Who's got wine or White Claw?
Soda.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay,
I got
so
coffee.
If you drink coffee this late, it doesn't keep you up?
No. I drink coffee purely for the flavor, not the energy.
So you don't have to drink decaf or anything?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Nope. Yeah. Guys, Winco reposted my post yesterday.
Who?
Winco Stores.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
I shared my coffee that I love from them, and they messaged me and were like, thank you so much for...
where you were like, it doesn't taste like pumpkin. It tastes like
Yes. The fall blend. This, I'm sipping fall in a mug.
Okay, a Keto cookie cup. What is Grain Belt Blue?
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. Oh, I love those.
What is it?
The Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah. Do you miss beer?
I miss hard cider, which I know I can still drink, but there's traces of things. Guys, I went gluten-free.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not just that. You have all kinds of, So,
yes.
Okay. I would just like you to know that when we finally get together, you're taking a break from all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Girl. Party hard.
We're going to need a week to recover.
I feel like when you and I get together in person, it's going to be what is that, Bad Moms or the classroom mom?
Oh, totally. I feel like Mike is going to be like, do you guys ever shut up?
Yeah, or you're fired, get out. Yes. Oh my gosh. 100%. That's what I always envision. I'm like, Melissa and I'd be the ones staying up all night, and we're dreaming big and we're going to do this.
Right?
Guys, you should hear mine and Melissa's stories today on our voice memo chats. We're we're dreaming to the sky.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So many things. We're like, you're so busy. We're like, no, you're so busy.
Yeah. No, I love, this is my favorite time of the year. Fall is my jam, Christmas, winter. For us, it's our enjoyable season. We typically sit in the fall at 88 to 90 degrees. Mm-hmm. So it's still what most people would consider their summer, but we consider able to go outside.
Right.
And then Christmas is 70 to 75. So some people still swim.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love the flavors of like, oh my gosh, the Angry Orchard. Like that sounds so good right now. I love all of those flavors. It's amazing.
Fall is my favorite as well.
Yeah.
I love fall.
Just something about it. And it just makes you feel
similar in Texas. Like it doesn't get too cold. It's like the heat's finally like passed. I'm one of those people that mosquitoes just absolutely attacks. And so those are all gone.
Yes. Oh, I read something somewhere that has to do with your blood type.
It does. Like,
does
it? Mike and I can stand in the exact same place and I will get eaten head to toe. And he has like nothing. Like none.
So Tommy and I are like that too.
Yeah. Do you get eaten or does he?
No, he gets eaten.
See,
I'll get bit once in a blue moon.
Tommy and I just have that good sweet blood.
You do. Yes, I'll get like one or two here and there, but he's like, I'm being eaten alive.
It's awful. It's awful.
I cannot imagine. But you guys, well, thank you for joining us. I see you all popping in. Again, it's so nice to now like see it, but
I know.
Yeah, Melissa, how's your week been? Because it's been.
Chelsea, I don't want to talk about it.
She's like, I need wine, guys.
We're here and getting through it. Okay.
I know, you guys got double whammy of us. Look at that. It's been so long.
I know. I feel like people's comments are not up to date on mine. It's fine. You can fill me in.
Okay.
Sounds
good.
So, okay, let's talk about it's Wind Down Wednesday, y'all. It's been a minute.
Yes.
It's been a minute. But we love our Wind Down Wednesday. I'm going to see if I can pull this up at all. We love our Wind Down Wednesday. It's a chance for us to just like chill with you guys, get to know you guys better. You guys can get to know us better. All that fun stuff. So in honor of that, the first thing that we're going to start out with, I'll take you through our agenda real quick.
Yes.
So if you guys watched our interview, sorry, I'm just lifting that up a little bit. If you guys watched our interview with Miss Marat at Burnt Cookies by Marat, one of the things that we asked her to do was show us a couple of sets that she had done that either really spoke to her or pushed her in some way. And I just find with bakers and with artists, it's so interesting to see like it's one thing for us to be like, oh, I love this set of yours. It's another thing for them to be like, no, let me tell you the story of this one. And this is why like this means something to me, or, you know, move me in some way, or just challenge me. So that's one of my favorite things to talk about when we interview people. And so Chelsea and I thought that we would do that for you guys this week. So we each chose 2 sets that we will kind of like talk to you guys about. And oh yes, the pet peeves, y'all came hard. You guys did not disappoint on your pet peeves. So many great pet peeves. So we have plenty that are baking, a lot that are driving related.
Yes.
Yeah, and just household related. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into those and see more of what you guys say. And then, the podcast. We've been talking about getting a list together for forever. So this is just a jumping off place to us talking about what podcasts we love. And then you guys had some questions for us too. I'm sure more questions will come up. If you do have questions, you're welcome to throw them into the comment section. Chelsea, are you seeing new comments?
I'm not seeing somebody type out something for us just to make sure. I haven't seen anything come through.
The last one I saw, Ashley Shearer joined.
That's the last one you see?
Yeah.
Oh no, we've had people joining, but yeah, somebody typed something in the comment section just to make sure our comments are turned on.
Yeah.
And
I did turn them off, but
thank you. Oh my Joe speech. Did you see that spoonful? Perfect. Hey, girl.
No, I'm not seeing the comments, but so you can just handle those, Chelsea.
Perfect. And question box.
If you do have specific questions, there's a little question mark over on the right side of the screen. You can plop your question there, and that'll help us be able to get to it at the end.
Thank you guys for the test. Perfect. They're all coming through now. Now it's like a plethora of them.
Yay! Okay. Awesome.
If this is your first episode, welcome. Welcome to the Cookie Chat.
Hi.
But every episode, we try and tackle a new topic and talk about hard-hitting questions that you guys have here in the community. And then every few weeks, we do one of these.
Melissa gets to.
We do. It's my first Wind Down Wednesday. I'm 14. I just started my cookie business, so I'm excited to be here. Congratulations. Welcome. First Wind Down Wednesday is just a fun episode. So we're not going to hit anything too hard, but we all just need that girl time. So think of it as that.
Yeah, it's where we really get to just like be in our community,
yes.
You know, and just chill.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Take us into the first topic, girl.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to go through your...
Oh, do you want me to go first?
Your sets first.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'll go first.
So, I'm going to show, again, this is one of Miss Chelsea's cookie sets that she's done.
Yes.
Do we
so
see
we
it?
will post these. We'll post them tomorrow so you guys can see, like, and then put a little description of them again. Okay.
But it says, the theme of this set is I want to grow up with you. And there's balloons everywhere.
So this set, I remember getting it, and I read the description of it, and I was like, I have no idea where to even go. So this was, they love the Disney movie Up. And that is what their wedding was themed around. But it was done in like rustic, vintagey, the peach, the light blue, the wood. And I was like, if you're a Disney fan,
all the lace details,
you know Up is bright colors and like it was just, I'm like, how do I make Up, besides their love story, which makes me cry in the beginning, into like rustic mason jars, wood. Like I literally spent nights being like, I don't know even how to move this theme. And I just sat down and I remember being like, I'm so terrified for them to pick this up because what I'm envisioning might not be what they envisioned. And this is like wedding, bridal shower, like, oh my gosh, these are big moments for people. And I just sat down and started like grabbing the colors and designing. And I still love, because my Disney heart is so happy. Like it came out way better than I thought. And they are so kind, and they'll still comment to this day. Like, I love seeing these wedding themes. Like, my cookies were so special. I'm like, I can't. So
they are seriously gorgeous. So beautiful. I love the peach and everything, and the like the lace detailing. Again, we'll post these.
Yes. I did not know at the moment.
I don't see the date on here. Do you remember how long ago it was?
Oh gosh, no, I don't. I can look though, but Sugarvale like hadn't hit as hard on the market back then. So you had to literally, if you wanted lace, like hand do the lace of stuff. Yeah.
They're gorgeous. I love them. I love how you did the balloons too. Okay.
Thank you.
This one's more recent. I remember this one.
Oh, yes, this one is more recent. All right, guys. We've all had the Too Wild theme that's going on and around in the animals. And this customer sent me their invitation, and I was like, it is all the watercolor animals. And I, at the time, I'd painted like little flowers and stuff, but never like animals. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I emailed them and I was like, hey, popular to contrary belief, like contrary to popular belief, let me get that backwards. I'm not an artist. I can't paint on cookies, but I'm willing to try. So this is what I'm going to charge you, way less, but in the event that I can paint them, like it's on me because it's a learning curve. Yeah. And Melissa was asking her because she paints on cookies, and Josie over at Rosette and Ruffles. Yeah. Girl, I was like texting her. I'm like, all right, how do I blend this color? What is, like, step by step. She was so sweet walking me through. She's like, all right, start with this color, build on, and I would send it to her. I'm like, all right, now what? Yeah. So she walked me through the entire painting process, and I was like, okay, now I'm not like as afraid to do it. I actually had that same set, however, they changed it to only pink and gray. Oh. So then it was like a whole nother mind switch of painting this animal in only versions of gray. Yeah. I was like, Because at first I was like, oh yeah, I painted those. I can do that.
Right.
I've learned from it. And I know what I'll do now. And they're like, oh, but no, only gray. I was like, all right, here we go back to it. Like, I was singing my song like, it's okay.
One.
Yeah, I'm like, do that hug and like rock. I'm like, it's all right. It'll all be good. So, yes. All right. So, Simply Sweet Caroline says, how do you water paint with brown and black? It turns shades of green. Awesome.
It does. And yeah, the trick is don't use brown or black.
And mine has it all.
Yeah. So for brown, start with a base of ivory.
Mm-hmm.
It works beautifully. It works beautifully for a skin tone. I would also suggest using the Sugar Art dusts sometimes for more of a pure pigment like that. And also once you've built it, add layers.
Mm-hmm.
So the deeper that you get, or if you want more of a pigment with it, then cut it with less of the water or less of the Everclear, and then you'll get way more of like that pigment. But I always, if it's brown, I always start with ivory. And then I will go to sometimes a chocolate brown, but you have to be really careful because they can give you like a weird green, or like blush doesn't look blush when you watercolor. A lot of them have like really weird tones. So definitely have a test cookie nearby. But then my other favorite trick is using like airbrush colors. So you can actually cut those as well, so they're not as pigmented. So cut those with a little bit of water or with some Everclear, but those will be more of a true color.
I feel like the airbrush ones were like, if I wanted yellow, if I was using like food dye yellow with water, it was like barely baby yellow. Yeah. But when I used my airbrush, I was like, okay, this is a true yellow, and then I could dilute it down.
Yes.
So
yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a learned skill, just like with florals or something like that. Like you learn as you go, for sure.
Yeah. One of our, I'll have to post, I think it's Simply Sweet. I don't know her handle just because I follow her all the time. So I'm like, oh, there she goes, she's posting. She's offering painting class, like personal painting classes that you could like book with her, and she would go over how to paint, or she's amazing at painting portraits and would teach you how to paint. And I'm like, I may take that. Like, I'm not trying to paint everybody's portrait, but I just think it's a fun like skill to learn.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
Or even like I did the Kirky Cookies.
Yes. Oh, I still have that class.
The summer cocktails class, which was
yes,
like,
I haven't taken it yet.
It's like purely painting. So even like I've applied so much of what she talked about during that class. And I think it's the first, I think she said later, it's the first class that she, like normally she does voiceovers. So she'll like record it all silently, but then like go back and do like pre-recorded voiceovers. This one, she actually talked through the whole class, and which I feel like you have to do because she's basically teaching an art class.
Right.
But it's so cute because she kept going, okay, so we're noticing in our reference photo. Now we're noticing over here in this area, and now we're going to notice over here. So now every time that I paint with something, I'm like, what am I noticing? Okay, so I'm noticing.
I love, even when we do lives and stuff, I know we don't watch back our lives all the time, guys. It's so true. I think what they say about like when you do a TV episode or something, you're like, I don't want to watch myself again.
Oh, yeah.
But when we grab clips, I'm like, we say that word a lot. We do this a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So we are so sorry. We try and work on it and get better every episode, but
I can never start a statement with just the statement. I have to go, okay.
Yes. I'll do stories, and I was like, all right. So I'm like, why am I saying how at the beginning of every story?
Yeah, even typing, I'm like, okay, so.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's like the intro.
Start the dang sentence?
Yes. There's been times I've recorded like stories and I'll say that, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. The next one I'll start, I'm like, I have a coffee. I'm like, why does this sound so weird? It doesn't flow. Yeah.
It sounds so blunt.
Yes. No. But all right, let's see yours.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I
know you gotta hold it up and talk over it.
So I'll just show that. I'll show them briefly. I'm going to go with my older one first. This is
the Queen of Mermaid.
Yes, this was not my first mermaid set, but this one I did, I think, a year or two ago. And it was for she's a YouTuber that I do a lot of stuff for. Her name is Tara Henderson, but her Instagram is Tara Lynn. And they were for her daughter. And she said, I just want pinks, just shades of pinks. And it was one of those ones too where she like sent me inspiration. You know, sometimes when people send you inspiration cookies, you're like, that's what you're looking for? Wait to see what I give you.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I feel like with the simple ones though, they really want simple.
And so this was my thing, right? Is that this was, for me, it stretched me as far as tone on tones. I hadn't done a lot of tone on tones. And this is where I started to relish in the pastel worlds and really embrace that. And also, this I feel like is where I started to understand that simplicity is difficult, and you can be super detailed and high end and still have negative space.
Yes.
And it can still be detailed without having every single inch of it covered in detail, and that is a design choice. And it's also, I did a lot of designs on the plaques, and I think this is where I started to fall in love with that design style. So yeah, this is still probably, I've done so many mermaid sets, but this is still probably one of my favorites.
All right,
I love that one.
I do have a question for the chat and everybody who's watching. Do you struggle with the negative space on a cookie? That simplicity, you're like, I could add like a flower there, or I could add an airbrush in the background. Like, to you, it's so hard to be like, oh, simple. Or do you find that simple can be a struggle? Because simple for me, I feel like leaves room for so much error. I'm like, oh, like if the line is not perfect, I'm like, oh, now you can see it.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you're my people.
Yeah.
Cheers, whatever you're drinking.
I agree.
Screenshot this. Cheers.
I agree with both of those things. And I feel like sometimes I'm like, well, I charged this much, so there should be a ton of stuff there. But also, simple's really difficult. There's no hiding things.
Yeah.
My go-to is always like, we'll just cover it with floral. Or like,
girl, I'm like, glitter it.
Yeah.
So when people are like, they want muted and like simple, I'm like, no glitter? Like, guys, I could pull out this drawer right here and glitter would fly up into the air.
This is why
This is why
we all have such a hard time with boy sets. Because, wait.
Yes, I love simple and negative spaces, but those designs stress me out the most. At home baking with Jess. I agree, and I've done this for how many years, and when someone's like very simplistic, I'm like, oh god. I always think of Melissa. I'm like, can you just do my cookies and send them to me? And then like, I'll do these like super over the top, girly, colorful ones for you.
Yeah.
So
no, let's do that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times I will lean towards like, well, I'll just paint them.
Yes.
Because then, like, you know.
Yes. No, definitely.
Because
so,
then I feel like, okay, well, that's giving them like a little bit of upscale from me, you know, but it's not like covering everything. Yeah.
Right. I have a plaque right now that's drying, and they only just wanted, it says like a little cutie is on its way. I'm like, that's it? You know what, like, you know what, like, can I put an orange in the corner? Do you want fun?
Entice you.
They're like, no, just plain. I'm like, okay. Like, it's like panic attack. I'm like, sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Do you know what I could do to that plaque?
I know.
That's what I think. But yes. All right. So show us number 2.
Okay. I'm having anxiety now because I'm not seeing any of the comments.
I can still see them, so you're good.
Okay. I don't know why. Okay. So this is the other
Love
one.
this one.
Yeah. So this was it's the 6th. Yeah. So we just celebrated. This is for our daughter's birthday, our oldest. This was last year, and this is actually, guys, how COVID birthday is this? This is based on her face mask.
Oh my gosh.
Her face mask at the time, this was like the design on it.
That is such a creative way to pull, though.
Were all these, well, she said that she wanted unicorn rainbow, and I was like, well, your face mask has a unicorn rainbow, so there we go. But yeah, this for me was one of the first times that I really started doing all of kind of like the wet on wet with the black detailing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's become kind of one of my calling cards.
It is, yes.
In a way. And just something that I love to do and kind of, I mean, I know a lot of people do it. I'm not saying that I'm like the only one that does that. But I think it's just, again, kind of part of finding my styles change, just like how artists go through phases of what they do.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. That one was, and I think it was during COVID, and it just, you know, it was one of those sets that I just kind of like fell into. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh, like I really like this style. And it's kind of like graphic and cool and modern.
I love that.
Yeah.
It fits you. Guys, in the first episode, if you joined, you heard barking dogs. My Pit came in here because he doesn't usually come in, and he's snoring on the ground. Like, if I'm silent, you can hear him.
Baby.
That's him. Like,
that's so funny.
Let me see if I can aim it down. You guys, he's legit right there snoring.
So I can kick off the pet peeves here because our little bug.
Do it! You guys! Pet peeve. If you didn't send one in, put it in the chat, your pet peeves, or like the little question thing, and we'll read some of yours. One sec. You guys, reading handles to me is like reading license plates. So I'm new at cookie decorating, and my line work is so bad. Any tips? Maybe consistency too thick.
Line work, like the black detailing, or like line work like with icing?
I would probably say both would be dependent upon too thick of icing. It will break, and then it starts to shake because you're like squeezing the bag.
Okay, so here's one of my favorite tricks that I've learned recently.
What's that?
I was doing a set that I had to ship, but I wanted delicate lines, and my thing with shipping was, which by the way, I only shipped because it was a friend. It wasn't like a customer, so don't come for me. But I wanted delicate lines on it. And if you want to go back and look, it's the set that had the blue hydrangeas in it. And so there's a lot of fine detailing. I was like, well, what if I add the detail lines after the first layer is like not even fully set? And it just like, it sunk in just a teeny tiny bit, but it still stayed, and they didn't break.
Oh, that's a good idea then.
Yeah. So like if you're doing detailing like with names or something like that at pre-sale time, like get your first layer down, let it sit for maybe like 5 minutes, and then come back and add it, and it's like it glues better.
Be careful though. I will say on pre-sale, if you're lifting the cookie.
Oh yeah, you don't want it to crack.
Don't do that. Yeah. Don't lift it. So if you can put the projector over it and write, or if you're just handwriting it yourself, you're good.
Yeah. Or like in the dehydrator, I'll poke it up from the bottom and like and set it down.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, so that's worked really well for detailing. As far as like if you're talking black lines,
she said outline.
Outline. Oh yeah, then that's a consistency issue. You need it a little bit thinner, I think.
Yeah, like toothpaste. Think of that as like a good writing or outline consistency, because it just flows. So like when you're mixing it and it like falls into itself but doesn't dissolve. Yeah. It's a beautiful, and it's so easy, and it's a lot easier to control it. It's like you have your cookie and you have your bag up and then come down as you're ending, versus like trying to draw it on your cookie, then it gets everywhere.
Yeah, and make sure that the hole is big enough. This all sounds so dirty, but
I know when I teach cookie classes, I'm like, okay guys, we're going to do this bag, and I'm like, we're gonna cut the tip just a little bit.
Well, and I would rather my outline be too soft than too hard.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree.
Only with cookies.
That's what she said. All right, I have a few of the pet peeves. Why don't you lift the cookies? The icing, if the icing isn't set, meaning like dried with your first layer, and you lift it up, it will crack because the bottom is still wet and the top is just starting to crust. So it starts to either sink into itself or you'll have little crack marks.
And also, like, you can run the risk of, like, your fingers pushing in on the sides.
Yep.
And cracking it.
How many times?
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to start into pet peeves, and I have somebody who sent it in through questions. Thank you.
Yay.
Pet peeve. Can you see the question that I just put across the bottom? Does that come up for you?
I cannot.
Oh my gosh. What is going on? All right, so it says, it's from the Cookie Apprentice. Pet peeve. My cat only wants to sit on a pile of clean laundry. It's his favorite. And then we had one more. And it says from Muffin Tops. My pet peeve is last minute changes to inspiration and themes. Girl, you are not alone.
You are not alone.
Yes.
You are not.
Yes. Melissa, what are some of the others? Or some of yours?
Oh, man.
You can kick us off on this, because I know a lot of people sent them in, and they were keeping me cracking up.
Okay, so hypocrites is a big issue for me. I really have an issue with that. Don't preach one thing and then just do that thing. Like, no, I think the issue is like no self-awareness. I'm just like, can we be? Is that him?
Yeah, he's literally now stretched. Oh wait, now I'm hiding him. He's stretched out underneath my cabinet,
baby.
Like literally stuck under the cabinet.
Sleepy. He's like, Mama, when are we gonna go to bed?
Yeah, guys, he's like,
oh baby. So
I'm like,
we have the 90-pound Bernedoodle, and he lays on his back, like spread eagle, all the way.
Yes. All right, so hypocrites. Lay it on us, girlfriend.
Also, like, don't complain about something constantly and never do anything to try and fix the problem. Chelsea and I may or may not talk about this.
I do know about that, Melissa. I do. Yes.
I don't know. I'm a fixer, so I'm like, just fix your problem then.
You're like, you just, if someone says like, I hate cooking dinner, you're like, well then order out and then move on past the topic. Like,
yeah. I'm a solution-oriented person.
Yes. Yes. You very much are. Very much.
Yes. Yes. What about you, Chelsea?
One off the bat that I can think of that's like not business or anything related is I hate when people leave dishes in the sink and saying that they're soaking and they're not soaking.
I feel like you're giving Mike a new thing to say.
Hey, Mike.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's just say that they're soaking.
Yeah, Tommy will do it, and I'm like, he's like, I cleaned the kitchen. I'm like, where are the dishes in the sink? He's like, they're soaking. I'm like, it's a fork. It's this. Like, what? Like, I get like when you're cooking with the pan, but just like random like drink cups, forks, a cutting board, a strainer. I'm like, no, those are soaking. He's like, yeah, they need to like sit with some water and stuff, and then I'll get to cleaning them. And I'm so like, especially when it comes to my kitchen, I clean as I go. Yeah. So I'm like, use it, put the ingredients away, wipe down that section. So yeah. I cannot. So we joke around that when he does like the cooking and stuff, like I'm always the sous chef. And he's like, hey, sous chef, hey, come on. So I'm like, okay, can I clean this area now? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, thank you. And so I clean, and he just like, it's literally, we should probably, so many of you guys are so sweet and have sent saying like, we need a little show for Tommy and all his meals that he cooks. I'm like,
yes, please.
I cannot tell you how many DMs a day I get when I post like a meal that he makes, and people are like, please have him like do a segment or like teach us how to cook some of these meals. Like, he is phenomenal at cooking.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's like, you can cook. I love cooking. He loves cooking, but I like to clean. Yeah. So I'm like, just let me clean. So
yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so do you want to pick some of the ones? We do have a few people. Do you want me to read these?
Sure.
All right. So Frosted Bite says people DMing instead of filling out a request form.
Yeah. I'll go along with that of like, it is posted everywhere that I am booked. Everywhere. at my
Mm-hmm.
website. There's no order form. There's only a contact me. For like, you know, if Food Network wants to reach out or something. That's what that's there for. That's what that's there for.
Right.
Not for people to be like, so can you work in a birthday cake next week? No.
I know. I was trying to get Food Network to give me a show this
Yeah,
week.
guys. Come on.
I want to be a host. Let me host. It's like, put me in coach. That's what I want. And then Elsie, I'm going to butcher that. Elsie, I'm going to call you that. When people asked for cookie on yesterday, I think maybe like the next day, like, oh my gosh, I need cookies tomorrow. Yeah. And then at home baking with Jess says pet peeve when people talk in extremes. This day is the worst. But really, is it? And it is really this your worst day ever? So the over dramatic emphasis.
That I feel like she's our people.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Was I like, but really?
Look on the bright side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Find the happiness. We have our Poppy in the house, Miss Melissa.
That's right. That's right.
All right. What else did we get this week?
Oh gosh. Let's see. There's a lot of driving ones. Slow drivers, not going when the light turns green, not using turn signals. One of the biggest ones for Mike and I are like people being on their phones in the car, like not paying attention, and they're just on their dang phones. Yeah. Oh, this was a good one, and I agree with this. The stickers that won't come off of your produce. I will see that and raise it to like pricing stickers.
Oh my
don't
God.
come off of anything. Like, why?
Yeah. Girl, you have to limit essential oil those. I just put
I mean, like,
some
especially
drops
with
now.
Like the picture
Yes.
frames and stuff, and they'll be the ones where like you're like, okay, this is good. And so you start in the corner, but then they have like the little like 3 prongs that stick up in the middle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
F you. Why?
Yes.
That's the worst.
Yes.
I hate that.
Yep. Or on like decor, and it's just right in the front, and you're like, and you see all the sticky.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of, okay, moving past driving to neighbors. So loud neighbors, people who don't keep up their lawns, people who park in front of your house, even though like there's plenty of other parking around.
Yes. Yes.
Like, why in front of our house?
Yes.
My big one is, like the mailbox. Like that, come on. Like we all know that the mailbox is open and like for a reason. I used to have a really, really big one of at our old preschool. Our preschool is at a church, and there was this person who always used to park. And I know that like there's a lot of people coming up to get their kids, but this one person always used to park in the handicap spot, and it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
I'm going to add to Driveline because my kids, even now, I'm like, oh, I should probably, like, I get so, because I got a schedule, guys. I got things I'm going to do. But when we get to Driveline, like, to me, that's what we call our, like, pickup line or drop-off line. Driveline is to drive, drop, sayonara, see you later, or drive, hop in the car, all that stuff. When people drive, park, get out of the car, get their kids out, put their backpacks on, tie their shoes, fix their bow, give them a kiss. I'm like, yeah, you're park. Go park and do that. Yeah. And then they wait and they watch them walk through the doors and they wave and then they like get back in their car. I'm like, let me around you. Let me around you. Like, yeah. I have no patience for that. And I try and like understand if they're really little. I'm like, okay, they're preschool. I understand they can be nervous. Right. But like you're a 4th grader. I'm like, yeah. Come on. I'm like, my kids are prepared. I'm like, okay, guys, ready? Backpacks on. Come on. Yeah. You got it? You got your water bottle? Okay, bye. See you later.
Yeah. Because it's just like, it's a matter, I think, of like being respectful of people's time. You know? Yes. Or when you're at the grocery store and it's self-checkout. I feel like I'm on like the grocery shopping like shows and I'm like, how fast can I check out? Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to hold up the line. Okay, so when you're at Target, do you barcode scan them like as you go through the store to like get the points or whatever?
So, in all honesty, I didn't know you could do that.
Well,
and second, because I don't,
yeah,
I shop online,
right.
so I do Target pickup like 98% of the time.
That's right.
So you can shop and scan as you go?
Well, okay, so you scan because like if they have deals, like coupons and stuff like that, or deals in the store or something like that, so Target Circle deals, then it saves it to your wallet so that when you check out, then you just like scan your barcode on your phone and it applies all those coupons and savings and stuff.
Nope, I didn't know that, but good to know.
So, but if you're doing it like online, then it just does all that for you.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Hold on.
Yeah.
What are you staring at? He has woken up and noticed the fan. So hold on, I'm gonna let him out. Keep going.
Okay, so more pet peeves. This goes along with the cleaning the dishes or letting it soak. Is when you're cleaning the dishes or cleaning the kitchen and then someone brings you more dirty dishes. It's like, no.
Yes!
Just like chip in, maybe. Or just like put things away. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. This is a common one. Loud chewing and chewing with your mouth open. Oh, late people who don't say or apologize that they're late. I'm sorry, but if you're late, apologize or bring Starbucks or something. Like, I will say nothing's worse than showing up late and having Starbucks in your hand. Because the only thing that people are thinking is, you're late because you went to Starbucks.
There was just a reel that had that, and it was like a hairdresser, and it was like, don't be late and walk in with a Starbucks.
No.
I was like,
finish up Starbucks outside, people. Like, at least try and be discreet.
I had the sweetest customer one time that had to be late for an order. They were communicating that it was a whole like family ordeal, which I felt so bad. And she had to pick up the next day, and she was so sweet. She was like, I know you like coffee. Where would you like coffee? I will bring you coffee. I'm like, I've already had it, but thank you so much. And they're at my mom's house. She was like, please ask your mom and dad what kind of coffee they'd like. I'm going to go stop, but I'll stop anywhere that they want.
That's so
I was like, you are the best.
Okay, that reminds me of Elsie Sweet's Lydia. Yeah. One time in her comments or in her stories, she was like, I just had like the ultimate like cookie or nightmare experience. I guess one of her customers texted her and she was like, hey, I'm going through Starbucks. What do you want? I'll be there in like 15 minutes. And Lydia's like, I forgot an order. Like I forgot an order. And she texted her and she's like, what? And the customer's like, oh my gosh, my hairdresser is named Lydia. It's the wrong person.
Oh my God.
I was like, I can only imagine, like, I would have a heart attack. I would.
Girl, every Friday, because my pickups are Friday. And if you guys, again, didn't watch last episode, I have pickup from my parents' house and I pick up from my house, okay? And I will, like, double, triple check now what address they chose for pickup just to make sure. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'll get, like, a ring at the doorbell. And again, we live out in the middle of nowhere. My husband's like, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a cookie pickup. Like, I panic. Like, to the point of I could, like, throw up.
Why do the Amazon people sometimes choose to ring the doorbell and sometimes
not? Exactly. And we had, like, for some reason, like, a super late, like, Amazon delivery. And I'm talking, it was, like, 7 o'clock, which is way past my pickup time. But I'm like, that's the first thing I think of. Anybody else with me here that, like, towards, like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, when the doorbell rings, you're like, oh my God, is that a cookie person? Like,
well, and also, the only time that our doorbell here rings is a cookie person or, like a friend that we know is coming to the house.
Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah. And, like, that's the thing. Like, the delivery people don't really even ring the doorbell anymore. So it's like,
right. Oh, no, panic. Sheer panic. Oh, my gosh, Lydia. Bless
so
you.
much.
We had, hold on, let's see here. All right. Pet peeve. Boho Sugar Fairy says people that lie. I think we could all agree on that one.
Oh, yeah. Dishonesty was on this list.
Carol's Cookie Shop. Interrupting to ask a question. Like, if you hadn't interrupted me, I was getting to that. Or if they ask the same. My kids do this, and I'm sure all of you guys have the same thing. Like, hey, Mom, when are we leaving? And we're like, we're leaving in 2 hours. It's like, 5 minutes later, like, Mom, oh, well, what time are we leaving? Like, in 2 hours. So I like my true crime and law and all that. So now when my kids ask like something and I'll answer it, like they'll say, what's for dinner? And I'll tell them, like, I'll just say mac and cheese. And I'm like, they'll ask again. I'm like, asked and answered. Asked and answered. Like, you should know that answer. And then they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, what is it? They're like, mac and cheese. I'm like, then why do you keep asking?
I like it.
So try that, guys. Asked and answered. Pretty Baked Cookies LLC says, I tell my 7-year-old to tuck and roll in kiss and go lane at school. Yes. Tuck and roll. Get out of the car. Get out as fast as you can. Yes.
I love that.
Gosh, I loved Tuck and Roll from, was it Ants or Bugs Life? The little bugs. Yes.
Oh, yes.
It is Tuck and Roll. Yeah. Yes. Those used to be my favorite. I had the little, like, stuffed animals.
This is another good one that I agree with.
Go ahead.
Leaving a trash can without the trash bags after you empty the trash.
My husband does this, but I kind of have a rule, like, not rule, but it's like our unwritten understanding that he takes it out and I'll just be right behind him. Like, oh my gosh, saying these out loud, I sound like I, like, walk behind my husband and, like, clean and.
Here, I will add to this. The other pet peeve is just continuing to stuff trash in a full trash can.
I will do that to make a point of the trash needs to go out after I've asked you 7 times.
We are a dual take the trash out household.
I would 100% be at the old house. Yes. At this house, took the trash out and there was a snake.
No.
Sitting under the trash.
Imagine though, because you're so tiny.
Yeah, I can't lift things. Like when they're heavy, I can't like chuck up and chuck. Like I'm like 5'3", 5'3 and a half. So when Tommy's like, we need to carry this, I'm like, babe, I can't like heave it. So
I feel like I feel like you have an excuse.
Yeah. But no, I saw the snake was underneath and I'm like, never again.
No.
Now I'm like so paranoid.
No. Oh my gosh. That reminds me. Okay. Our neighborhood Facebook page. Somebody was like, somebody who's not terrified of snakes, come get this. We find out somebody's snake, like pet snake.
Oh my gosh.
Had gotten out. Had gotten out. Been missing for 4 weeks. It grew 4 times its size.
I cannot, like, no.
Yeah.
My fears are reptiles. Like in Arizona, we have like these huge lizards. So we got like the lizards, the snakes, alligators, crocodiles. Like those are what my nightmares are made of.
Yeah, no, the alligators?
Yeah. No, like people will think it's funny to like send alligator things or tag me. I'm like, no, I'm like legitimately would cry. Like,
yeah, no.
I don't know. Cookie says, as a teacher, it annoys me when parents don't pull all the way up to the number. Like, please pull all the way up so that the whole line doesn't get messed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree to that.
Yeah.
Hold on, we have another one. I don't know if you can see these, Melissa. I know you guys are telling me you can't. That's so strange. Everyone else is saying they can see them. So, Simply Sweet Caroline says, how do you manage order pickups so they take place on 1 or 2 days? Do you decline orders if they can't pick up on your specific day? It got cut off, so I apologize.
I think when you are doing your like order request form, I don't know how you're receiving orders, but I have it very clearly in my order request form. This is when the pickup day is.
Yep.
Pickup time. It's on my invoice. If that, for whatever reason, is absolutely not doable for them, I will work with them, but like we got to figure it out ahead of time. Chelsea, you do it the same way, yeah? I
have on my order form, it says orders or pickups are always Friday from 4:30 to 6. If you need anything other than that, it needs to be requested at the time of taking the order so that I can make sure that I can fulfill it. But I do make accommodations. But I also have on it that I will not guarantee any early pickups the week of your pickup.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Yes, that's for custom orders.
I personally, like, if I'm done with your order early enough, like, I'll email you, I'll text you and be like, hey, they're ready. Like, if you want to pick them up early, that's fine. But I don't guarantee it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I think I hit all of them.
I have a bunch of baking related ones.
Oh, give them to me.
I feel this. I don't use these that much, but I have the peel off strips on the self-adhesive cello bags.
Oh, you said it right.
I did. I used to say cello. Don't know why I got schooled by Miss Vicky.
Hey, Vicky, if you're here. Yes, I cannot stand those.
No. It's part of why, like, I know that they can actually be, okay, again, I will say this again. I just got it last week. Buy the
Cutter.
the sealer with the cutter, guys. It's like 3 times more expensive than the one without it. It is so the way to go.
Yeah.
So the way to go. But still, like, even like after you cut it, all those like get back, and they do, like, even when you're going to throw them away, they still like stick and crap.
Yeah.
But no,
they
the
do.
self-adhesive ones are the worst. They're the
Sometimes
worst.
places only have those because they're sold out of like the non ones, so I have to get them, and I'm like, yeah. Yes, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I hate those. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one is annoying. A potential new client that ignores your invoice or your emails and then gets mad when you can't take their order. That's
Oh yeah. I'm like, PTSD, guys. PTSD.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. People asking the same question that's been answered 100 times in your comments or that you have in your highlights already. This is a good like reminder for everybody. Just like, and this is true. And I've had to like train myself to go back and look at people's comments, especially if it's like a really popular post and it's just, say it's a really cool design or something like that. I do now actually take the time to go through and look at the comments to see like if my question has been answered, because it does take time for people to respond to these. It takes time out of their day and stuff. And a lot of times people like Chelsea and I love helping everybody, but it serves you well to like find the answer on your own and spend that time asking people when it's something that's truly like new information that'll help.
Right.
Yeah. So
I find that like a lot of times I'll want to know what box size somebody posted, but 90% of the time it's in the comments.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep scrolling. I mean, I won't read all the others. I'll just look for dimensions. I'm like, if I see numbers, I'm like, there you go.
And honestly, you'll get an answer faster by looking at the comments versus waiting for them to answer the question.
Right. Yes. No, definitely. Or like their packaging ones. That's usually like popular packaging boxes. They'll have those in there. And
also, they're probably going to be more apt to answer your question too. If you're like, hey, I tried to find this. I looked through your highlights. I know that you like had mentioned it before. I really tried to look through and find it. Could you point me in the right direction? Because that can also be really like a nice way to even start a more genuine conversation.
Right.
Is to be like, hey, I know that you've mentioned this before. Can you point me in the right direction, or did this get taken down, or do you have any more insight? Or you can ask an even more like detailed question,
right,
to get like more of an answer about it.
Definitely.
Being asked to replicate the exact same cookie as another person.
Yeah.
The how much email.
Or in your comments, how much? How much? Yes, that happens to all of us, guys.
And as a cake baker too, and then we'll move on. I know we've been on this for a while, but as a cake baker, when somebody's like, "How many does that particular cake feed?" And I'm like, "How can you, like, in any way understand the size of what that cake was from a photo?" Right. You know, like there's no hand or like body right there. It could be a smash cake.
Yeah.
It could be this little, or it could be like.
Right.
Big. You don't know.
Right.
So
yes.
Like, I can't answer that.
Definitely.
Okay. Any more pet peeves come through?
Nope. We're all caught up on our comments.
Okay. Podcasts.
Yes.
Chelsea, I know that you're a crime lover. What's your personal favorite crime podcast?
So I vary a little bit in this from a lot of what we got, and then if you haven't seen my true crime reel, I will share it tomorrow.
You got the audio back?
I did get the audio back. I was just talking to Shay about that this weekend. You guys, I did this reel of true crime. I'll post it. And YouTube, oh my goodness, Instagram like yeeted my audio for like violence and this and that. Really? So now it got re-uploaded and now it works. Thank goodness. But I had a reel with no audio. So I am obsessed with true crime. I'm obsessed with listening to court trials. Like, I will listen to like legal paperwork all day long. Like, it's so educational to me.
Did you ever think about going into that?
Yes. So I loved, before I had kids, loved Criminal Minds. And I have always wanted not to go into like, I don't want to see the crime scene. Like, I'm not into like gore and that, like autopsies, not my jam.
Right.
I like the analytical and the mental, like, how did you arrive at this decision, or behavioral. I want to be a behavior analysis or go into behavioral analysis, or like body language experts or verbal. So when people say different things or their body language, like that, oh my gosh, profilers, I could listen all day long to things like that. So that is what I wanted to do. I love, again, following the money trails and things. And then I had kids, and a lot of the crimes, my family comes from law enforcement, and a lot of the crimes involve children.
Yeah.
And even listening to true crime, Tommy will walk by and he's like, how, I listen to it in my headphones so obviously no one's hearing it, but when he does, he's like, how do you listen to that?
I know.
Like, I can put a block between like real life and that, but if some things cross over, like, I don't like listening to detail.
Yeah. When I was like immediate postpartum, I couldn't. It was too, like, anything that had to do with like kids or something, it was too raw and too close.
Yes.
Now I'm okay.
Yeah.
But,
I used to fall asleep listening to Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah.
And my mom would be like, what are you doing? Now, like, once I had kids, I do not watch that show.
It's the joke in our house of Lester Holt does he does Dateline or 2020? I think he does Dateline. He's like the opener for Dateline. And so it's like the joke. We're like, Lester Holt, you're sweet, like, good night voice.
Yes.
Yes. That's like what I fall asleep to.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, see? So yeah, I don't listen to true crime on a podcast network. I am 100% hands down YouTube. So all of mine are through YouTube. I know one of them, Pretty Lies and Alibis. I love them. They're so funny.
So those are visual then, right?
Yes, some are visual, like Pretty Lies and Alibis.
Do you have them like on your iPad or something during the day?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So I can just watch and stuff or listen. It's nice because when I'm going back and forth for mixing frosting, I don't have to like visually be seeing, but it's sometimes nice to like, they'll put up like maps and things like that, or documents.
Yeah.
So Pretty Lies and Alibis is on Apple Podcasts, so I do love them. I love It's a Crime. I love The Interview Room. Scott Wright. I like a lot of attorneys that will, Emily D. Baker. If any of you guys watch Emily D. Baker, please let me know. She goes over legal paperwork when it comes to celebrities. So, like, the Jen Shaw case and Erica Girardi and stuff like that, like, she'll read it off. So she'll make, like, law.
Okay, so do you think Erica knew?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I don't want to believe that.
Yeah, I don't think she, okay, I take that back. I don't think she knew the extent of.
Now talking about, like, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erica Girardi.
I do not watch Real Housewives. So I have now been invested because I'm like deep on in these. So now I'm thinking of watching Beverly Hills, but I think she knew to an extent, but I think it was more like, you're doing that, but don't tell me. But yeah, being naive or like not knowing is not a legal defense.
So what she is claiming or what she is portraying is that, well, one, she's really playing up that he was like cheating and had like these like mistresses and stuff.
Yes.
But also that he was not of sound mind. He's very much playing up like he was going downhill, like dementia or whatever. So she's playing up like that's very much where he was. And like I do subscribe to the idea that people in that amount of wealth, a lot of times the complete household does not know the complete financial picture.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
There are definitely, and especially when there's like that large of an age gap, it's very like controlling. And so like,
yeah, but she financially
benefits how all that pans out.
Yes. So no, I love following those type. So definitely those, again, 99.9. I don't think I listen to any of them that are true crime on Podcast Network. Again, it's all YouTubers and stuff like that. So
okay, question to you guys. I was actually talking to somebody about this today. I was like, I need to invest in like Audible or something like that because I really like listening to books again. But my issue sometimes is when I'm doing cookies, and it would be great for like pre-sale when I'm just banging out a bunch of the same designs. But my issue when I'm decorating is I like my brain will go into like thinking about the design and then I like lose track of where I was in the podcast or I've like totally missed something. And does that happen to you?
So when people tell me that audiobooks are not considered reading, because that's what I get all the time when people are like, but do you really read? I'm like, it's still the book.
Yeah.
I look at it as I'm exercising a different muscle and a different skill set. So I now don't notice the difference, but it sounds weird, but like mentally process the book. So I had to train myself, like, okay, focus on the words that are being said.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, if I really, like, sometimes I have to pause it if I'm like, oh wait, what is, so like I'll read what my customer wants on their design. I'm like, okay, and then I'll restart it.
Okay.
But no, I can now work through a design and listen and just like, it's almost like driving home. I'm like, wait, how did I get here? Yeah. So I can do that, but it definitely takes, I think, time, and you guys let us know. It totally depends on the narrator, in my opinion, is what we're hearing. Yeah, some people you can zone out too.
Well, and I bet too, Chelsea, for you, because your Mondays are when you kind of like plan your sets and you like download all of your like inspo and everything that day. For me, it's like I do all like I'll screenshot stuff before, but as far as like figuring out the fonts and like truly like sketching designs and stuff like that, that's during my like cookie time.
Yes.
Like, so
and your mental, I was talking to Kim at A Modern Cookie about this weekend at our meetup, was how, because she was saying the same thing, is like her mind works at like one set at a time, and she has to finish that set from like design to bake to execute to everything before she can mentally like move on. Yes. And she was like, that's where sometimes I feel I can't take on as many because I have to do this. Yeah. Where, again, I think it's a muscle memory thing that you train. I work in steps for everything. So I'm touching every set every single day. And I'm like, okay. And then I can listen. So I definitely think it's a skill build up on it. Yeah. But I can multitask with my kids. Yeah. So I can have like something playing in my ear and talking and totally engage. And then they're asking me a question and I'll answer them or be like, no, don't say that. And then just keep listening. Yeah. So
I wonder too if because you're in so much more of a rhythm, like you have like such set like times to do stuff and you have such a rhythm to it of like you're able to pocket that stuff more.
Yeah, could definitely be.
Whereas I'm more like, oh, I have an opening here to do something. Oh, okay, I have an opening here. Okay.
Yes, definitely. We have At Home Bacon. Jess says, I have to rewind sometimes, but normally it helps me focus more on decorating and tune out the household. I 100% agree. You guys, are you, when you listen to things when you decorate, are you a headphones person or are you a no headphones?
Oh, I have to be headphones.
I cannot work. And when we lived with my mom, when my house was being built, she was like, why? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Even if the house is empty, I have to have headphones in is the only way I can work.
You know what's funny is sometimes like I'll realize like an hour or so later that nothing is playing because I didn't have an iPad and I didn't use my laptop, so I would use my phone to do my projector. Well, then I like stopped the sound and I'll go for like hours and not even realize my headphones are still in, but I haven't been listening to something. It's like a comfort thing.
Yes. Yes. No, it really is. We have people saying headphones for sure. I love Audible, but you check your library. Many of them have apps where you can check out the audio. I agree with that. Yes. And you can see if you like the narrator. Spoonful of Sugar Bait says you changed me into a headphone girl. I don't know if that was Melissa or I, but
headphones are such a way to go. And also, I feel like I learned this in corporate world of like, if I have my headphones in, then like that means I'm heads down working.
Yes.
It's like I trained myself and my coworkers to be like, don't talk to me right now.
Yes. Somebody says I play it on Echo kind of loud because I usually use my phone for the projector. See, and that's, I have my iPad and my phone.
That's part of why I got an iPad.
Yes. Guys, it's a business investment.
Yeah.
Use your your pictures on your iPad, and then it doesn't clog up your phone, and you can use it as a business write-off. That's a write-off. But yes, no. So some of the crime podcasts, if you guys are interested, we had Minds of Madness, Small Town Murder, Morbid. Morbid was really popular.
Morbid's big. I'm surprised that nobody said Serial. Serial was one of my favorites.
Seen it, right? Yep. See, guys, I'm the writer off.
I liked the first season the best of Serial. Also, what's it called? Dr. Death is really good. That's not on here.
Nope.
I'll have to ask to mine it. Oh, somebody did say Dr. Death.
Crime Junkie. Everybody's on the Crime Junkie.
I just call out this handle is one of the best. Batch Please Cookie Co.
I love that. My favorite murder, Park Predator.
What's the one that turned into a it was on like Bravo TV, or was it Lifetime did the show on it? It's got the chick from Friday Night Lights. What was that called? It was basically like he was a con artist.
I don't know.
That one's good.
Yeah, no, I don't know that one. If you're looking for one that's just a short one segment, not segment, but I guess one topic, and it just works all the way through. The trial is going on as we speak. It's called Your Own Backyard.
Ooh.
If you haven't,
I want to get into that one.
You guys, I'm telling you, if you have holiday orders coming up and you want to zone out, it's because it's the same consistent story, so you're not like hearing different.
Yeah. Sorry, I think laugh just because like it's the real of like, oh, here are your holiday cookies brought to you by like murder crime.
No joke is that I usually watch. It's just so weird, you guys. I know. Gilmore Girls only in the fall.
Oh.
I don't know why. Tell me if you watch them only in the fall. It's like my fall, like, it's fall, Gilmore.
I could see that. I could see it. It's very, like, I feel like the town is very, like,
picturesque and all of that. Yes. So that's usually what, like, my Halloween cookies are brought to you by is, like, Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
And then I'll move into, like, another just because time goes by faster when it's just consistently the same. Sure. And I'm not switching. Sure. So Your Own Backyard is about Kristen Smart, her disappearance, and it was 25 years ago. And they just arrested the people, like, this spring. So the case is going on right now, but it is the most, I love it, for one, that he did not take any profits from the podcast, and it is, I think, Apple's #1 most downloaded podcast, and he never monetized it because that was not what he was in it for. So good one.
That's really cool. I love that. Another one that was done like live was To Live or Die in LA.
Oh yes.
That's
you're right on that.
Also, one that was recommended to Joe by Mo that she said was really good, and I started listening to it, was Chameleon Queen.
Ooh.
That one's really good. Did anybody say what that show was? The one that turned into the show was?
I don't know. Let me check. We do have some things. Was it Dirty John?
Yes.
There you go.
Dirty John, really good.
Okay, Gilmore Girls, Spoonful of Bacon. I named my daughter Rory. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Aww.
I just finished Gilmore Girls for the first time, and it was a perfect cookie decorating show. It is, and it's feel good.
It
so
is. I could totally see that.
And then last, before I move on to the next category of business, is I only watch Harry Potter in the winter. See, it's some of these shows are just our thing.
I don't have a TV. Like, I had the option to have a TV in my cookie room, and I opted not to. I don't know. I haven't gotten into watching again. I think it's because I don't have long enough sense of time.
That's true. Yeah, and I'll do an 8 to 10 hour day, and I'm like, I finished my husband hates it because I'm like, I finished a whole season. He's like, how?
Oh yeah. No, Mike is like, I need something of my own to watch.
Yes. I wish I could listen and zone out to baking or decorating. It's between my 3-month-old cat naps. It's crazy. Yes. So you're like Melissa. It's when you can space it in.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, we also asked you guys business podcasts or anything that you love to listen to, and I will say so many of you guys said baking it down.
Yeah.
I think that was almost all of them. Christy Wright, Baking It Down, and How I Built This.
Yes. And us. People said us.
Yes, we did have one. You guys, thank you. One day we'll be an Apple. Melissa, do you have any business ones that you love to listen to?
I do like Baking It Down. I did somebody say How This Is Built? Or what is it?
Yes.
What was it? Yes, How I Built This. How Things Work, I think somebody said.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like I've listened to one of those before. But yeah, I don't listen to a lot of business ones.
So I have a few, and then a lot of them that I listen to are like self-help, self-reflection, because I still like the topics of like achievement. So it's not all like meditate, do this.
Yeah.
It talks a lot about like how people built up their businesses and stuff. I love Oprah's Masterclass.
Ooh, yes. I want to say I have listened to a couple of those.
That one is really good. The Boss Babe podcast I do pop in and out of, depending upon what their topic is. Mel Robbins, I love her and I love her books. We kind of went over that one of the other time. And then Gold Digger. That is
What's
a good
Gold
one.
Digger about?
Goal, G-O-A-L.
Oh, okay.
So she
not as interested.
I know there's been controversy with her in the past like year and a half because of just like learning so I'm not saying that her as a person.
Okay.
But
it's like a Michael, well, no. I won't
Yeah.
go there.
Her topics, she walks you guys through down to like how to ask for a sale or how to write a email if you are interacting with a brand or hoping to interact with a brand or any of those type of things, or how to be on someone's podcast.
That's awesome.
So there's a lot of things, or like how to know the numbers in your business, how to grow your business, when to walk away, when to expand, things like that. So I really enjoy a lot of those topics, and you can just binge them because there's hundreds on hers. So
good.
Yeah. But let's click over to the next one. You guys, the last one that we asked was what?
The fun stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, what are the fun podcasts you guys like to listen to? Do you want to take some?
Nobody said mine.
What is yours?
I love the Popcast.
The what?
The Pop.
What is the Popcast?
Oh my gosh, guys.
I'm gonna
y'all have
let
got
him
to
out
get
again,
on.
guys. Sorry. Keep going, Melissa.
Okay, my sister got me onto it. They talk all things pop culture. It's this guy and this girl, and they met on like a writing blog years ago. He's married to his high school sweetheart, but they're both like very Southern. I want to say they live in Georgia now. So they have super heavy like Southern accents. What's the Enneagram that they like to be alone and they don't like?
It's either 4, 5, or 6.
It's a 4. I'm pretty sure it's a 4. Or maybe a 6. I don't know. But they love Enneagram stuff, and they both grew up in like heavy, was it Episcopalian? I forget what it is, but like super heavy, like Bible preachy stuff, but like have evolved a little bit, and they like love pop culture, and they love all that stuff. So they just like, they do certain episodes where they deep dive on like Titanic, and they'll like break it down, and they're like, was that really like this? And they'll like kind of poke holes in some of the stuff.
Ooh.
And then they'll have ones that are like, what do they have? The More You Know. And they'll talk about just like, I don't know, like all things pop culture. It's just really fun. It's a really, really, really fun one. They're really funny. I always have a laugh out loud moment with them. It's really fun. And then they have this whole other podcast called the Bible Binge, which I haven't listened to, but because they come from such a biblical background, they basically like break down Bible stories and like talk about them like in a humorous way, like if that were to happen today, sort of thing. Which again, I haven't listened to yet, but I do think that they had a cookier. I forget which cookier it was, who did the cover art for all of their Bible Binge.
Oh,
episodes.
wow.
And I'm blanking on who that was now. I need to go back and find that out. But the podcast, I highly recommend. I actually saw their live episode when they came to Dallas. I went with my sister because she recommended it to me. So I'll post that this week in stories.
Yes. We have Jasmine Star, the Kelly Roach Show. A good pair. Oh my gosh, the name of this one, you guys. If you have littles, 3, 2, 1, cover their ears. Yeah. I'm gonna wait. I'm saying
not safe. Not
inappropriate.
Safe.
Oh crap! I love my toddler, but holy F. So I have to check that out. That sounds hilarious.
I thought you were gonna say the one that Debs Thomas recommended.
Oh, I don't. Which one is it?
My dad wrote a porno.
I'm just like, now I need to know what that is about.
Yeah.
I will say one that is, 2 of them that are actually on here, I listen to religiously, and I love The Office Ladies, hands down. So amazing if you're an Office fan.
What all do they talk about? Is it like pop culture stuff, or what is
No, they break down, like Mike would love it. They break down every episode of The Office, and they'll tell you behind the scenes things of like, and so it's Angela and Pam.
Behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, so they'll tell you like, hey, the reason why you're only seeing Angela from like chest up is because she was so pregnant and we couldn't hide it, or just like little things. So The Office Ladies is so good. And then the other one is, of course, Gilmore Girls, Scott's I'm All In. I wish they would change the format of it a little bit, but you still get like behind the scenes things like that. So I wish they would do one for Friends, because
that would be a fun one. I'm surprised nobody has. Do you have to have certain rights to them?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I do really like Armchair Expert, depending on who the host is. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, not who the host is, who the guest is.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually really like a lot of his that they have certain ones where they interview other experts.
Oh, nice.
That's really interesting. He'll interview like child psychologists or like different kind of like doctors and things like that. And so those are really interesting, I think. I think he's really like come into himself in a like podcast host format.
What are your top 2 favorite fun ones for you? Would you say that in the pop culture?
Definitely Popcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mostly like, I'll bounce between Popcast or a crime podcast or music. Or honestly, I think because it's been so crazy and we have little ones, silence is, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but like there are some days where I appreciate the sound of silence.
I bet.
Yeah.
I will say my top is definitely going to be Coffee Combos.
Okay.
I love that one.
Okay.
And The Office ladies. Those, if I could only pick 2 of them, but yes, I love coffee combos. So
What about,
it's a good one.
do you ever listen to comedians?
On YouTube, yes.
On YouTube?
But again, most of my day is spent on YouTube, unless I know like the Office Ladies or Gilmore Girls or Coffee Combos are coming out with a podcast. They have their set days, so then I'll binge them those days and then move back on over to YouTube. Okay. But Tommy listens to. I'll have to get his, you guys. He listens to a really good one, and it actually is so much like they interview financial criminals, not like murderous criminals.
Yeah, like American Greed stuff.
Yes, but people who have committed financial fraud or like insane, and they walk you through like what they did. And like, again, if you don't know, my husband and I both have financial backgrounds, so we are like so intrigued by, because some of these things like we lived in real life watching like financial things go down at the bank.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm like, we look at it like, oh my gosh, how could you, like, what was your banker saying? So I'll have to get that from him though. But yes, I have Silent Saturday mornings. It's so refreshing. Oh, that's good. I love that. Maybe we should start that. Like, hey, did you observe like Silent Sunday or something and have like,
give yourself just like 5 minutes of just sitting on the couch and just close your eyes and be in silence. Like, it's so little time. I think so many of us have kids at home that it's just, you don't get to do it very often, and it's just so nice to just give your
I do meditation, so
you're good at that.
We had a little dash of sugar said the Situation podcast, what's happening with Snooki and Joey. Oh my god, that made me laugh. And then Chrisley Confessions. Oh my gosh, that Todd Chrisley is, I find him hilarious. But yes. And then we had Brian Bauman. I'm probably saying that wrong, guys. Gardner has a really good one, Office Ladies. Yes, and silence is so necessary. That's my car time. I agree. I missed that for my corporate. When I was going to our cookie year meetup this week, it was an hour and 15-minute drive from my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I can like jam out to music in a car.
Right? I know. I like never have drive time anymore. Like ever. The time that I listen to music is like on the Peloton.
I'm listening to the class on that one. Yes.
I know. Mike and I we're talking about booking a trip in April, and he's not a big reader. He's just like, once I got through like my master's degree, I'm over reading. Like, I'm done. And so I'm like, we should get a list of podcasts and just like sit on a beach and just listen to podcasts together. We can like each have our own little.
Oh my gosh, yes. Tommy and I, when we take like drives to Vegas and stuff like that,
it's the best.
Yes, or music, we'll pick a genre and just like, we'll play, so we'll put it on shuffle of a genre, and then it's like the first like beat, we pause it, and we're like, what is the name of the song? So,
I love that.
We see how quickly, but yeah, so, awesome. Real quick, I know we are wrapping up here, you guys. We're gonna move on to Bake of the Week and stuff like that, but I will say, I just want to touch on it real quick since I had so many questions about the Arizona Cookie Year meetup. You guys, amazing experience. If you can get together in your community, if you can be the pillar to put it all together and just like cheer everybody on. So many people have been posting this week that they were extremely nervous to show up and get that nerve to actually be
really?
Yes, like be, which I will say too, I am very extroverted, but I'm an introverted extrovert.
We're extroverted when we need to be.
Yes, and I was even hyping myself up. Like, I almost did a reel about it. Like, okay, I can socialize with people. I could do this. Because it's you. But, so the way it was put together is we have an Instagram group. I believe I was corrected on that. I thought it was 50 max in it. I think it's about 30-something that can be in an Instagram group.
Yeah, I think it is.
And so we just communicate through that. I know we have a couple on Facebook and stuff. So wherever your group is, we just kind of posted like, hey, would you guys all want to get together? We kind of narrowed it down to a central location for everybody within our state. And then we opened it up after finding a restaurant. I didn't plan it. It was Roll Cut Bake and A Modern Cookie, Kelly and Kim. And they found the restaurant, contacted the restaurant, figured out all the food and stuff to put out. And sent a link. Like, we had to check out, like, hey, I'm going to book my spot. And then we offered if you wanted to do the cookie exchange. So if you did that, I think it was like 3 dozen I ended up baking. And so 36 of us just exchanged cookies and talked, and we did giveaways. So we had cutter shops donate. In Arizona, Shady is here and Pour Some Sugar cutters. And both of them donated like this cute cutter baskets and all of that. So we did a raffle, and yeah, it was amazing. But if you guys can do it, I highly recommend it.
I love that. And you know what I find so interesting too is I need to be better about this, but I would love to do, even if it's not a meetup, just a cookie exchange.
Yeah.
Like my local people, because I recommend to other cookiers a lot, but because I like their skill level, like, or like the style of stuff that they do, but I've never actually tasted like their stuff. And like there are shortbread cookies.
Yeah.
There are people who like, I like a really like soft cookie, but I know that's my personal preference. That is not everybody's preference.
All of them from the thing. Like,
I know, and you being gluten free, you can't even taste all.
You guys, I haven't had gluten since January, and I was like, I have 36 baker's cookies here. I want to taste these. And
Has Tommy been able to eat them and tell you like, okay, this is more of like a crumbly cookie, or this is more of like.
When I was filming for the cookie chat video, like showing you guys,
I saw that he was like taking them.
He had already opened 6 of them. He's like, you told me I could taste test. I'm like, no, I thought you were going to open it, eat the whole cookie, and like choose like here and there. He's like, oh no. He was literally like, hey Mike, welcome. Melissa can't see the comments, so.
He literally just walked in the door and he's like already on.
He was like ripping them open, like bite, okay, bite. I'm like, you've opened all these cookies. So like now I have like a bag of the ones he's opened to taste.
So funny.
But I was like,
I'm just purely curious to know, like I've tasted maybe like 6 or 7 other cookies, but some of them were from cookie exchanges where we like mailed to each other.
Yes.
So, you know, like those don't always stay the most fresh. Like I would love to
put one together for the cookie chat.
Ooh.
Nice, maybe. But yeah, I took like the corners of some just because I wanted to taste them. And after the 3rd one, I was like, oh my gosh, my throat is like, it hurt to swallow. My mom's like, Benadryl. I was like, I can't do this. So I might just power through and like taste a few here and there. And
so are you actually like celiac? Like you have celiac issues?
No, I was tested for celiac and I don't have it. So I have a gluten sensitivity.
Okay.
But I'm not like highly allergic. So if something's like cross-contaminated, I don't have it. It's just seems to be as soon as I have it, I can feel, which I never knew.
Right.
And my throat, after they were like, try without it, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this is how people breathe.
Right?
So it was crazy. I started finding out actually when I did a whole 30 rounds.
We can cure allergies. I'm like, wait, what?
Right? It's insane. So, all right, guys, I know you listen to us talk forever. But we are to our favorite part of Bake of the Week. Bake of the Week. And we're going to get copyrighted one of these days.
I know, right? Okay, so here it is. Oh, this is mine. This is Virginia Rose Baking. And guys, I love like all of her stuff. But look at how stinking cute these are.
I want this theme now.
I feel like if you follow Sweet Dough Cookie Co., I feel like these should have been like her bachelorette party.
Yes, actually, this is, Ashley, if you're here, I know she had popped in a little bit earlier. Yes, this is 100%.
I know, but I love the colors and the little cowboy boots. Like, that's totally, like, my style. And that little disco ball, like, that is so hard to do. Like,
yes, if you've ever tried to do a disco ball, it's one of those designs you're like, oh, I can do it. And when you execute it, you're like,
oh, yeah.
It's a little bit harder.
And that, you can't, if you can tell, that cowboy boot, that's wet on wet right there.
Oh, my gosh, so good. Yeah. We'll post these again, guys, tomorrow so you can see them up close.
Cute. Okay.
Love it.
So let me get to, all right, here's Miss Chelsea's.
Can you say who it's from? We can't see it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is Sugar Coated Table.
You guys
I actually had to go look. I know.
I picked something other than cookies because how sweet are these cupcakes? Like, I love the different textures under the flowers and the butterflies. Like, I have a butterfly tattoo, so butterflies, like, pull up my heartstring. But it is so beautiful. It just screams spring to me. So cute. Or garden party.
Yeah.
I love it.
And cupcakes are not easy to do, y'all. Those are beautiful. Yeah, compositions like that of like varying your cupcake design, those are not easy to do.
Yes, so good.
So cute.
Love it, love it, love it. You guys have been hanging with us for like 2.5 hours.
I mean, yeah. How are our voices not gone? We've been on here for like 3 hours.
Because we can talk. As we know, we always go longer. But so next week we will still be here. We just won't be a 2-hour episode.
Yes.
Miss Melissa is not gonna be with us.
I'm not. I'm taking a week off, guys. I have a big cookie week next week. And I was like, Miss Chelsea.
I got you, girl.
Save me from myself.
So we are going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to be chatting with Chelsea next week. Literally, it will be a podcast video episode full of Chelseas.
It's the Chelsea.
So, yeah, we have Chelsea and Chelsea.
The Chelsea we're referencing is from Pink Lemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. So we'll probably sub her. Chelsea, if you're here, I'm volunteering you to sub when Melissa has to leave. And we will be chatting with Chelsea on Wednesday because that will be the name of our episodes. Melissa's like, vacation, Chelsea, let's go. But yeah, so next week we are going to be tackling the topic that you guys are asking about of pop-up shops. So we hit pre-sale this week and last week and again this week. So, or the previous, it's been all about pre-sales, but a lot of you guys wanted to know about pop-up shops and if you should offer that and what to expect when doing those. So Chelsea is a breath of fresh air when it comes to this topic. That is how she 90% of the time executes her holiday sales. So just a different perspective on it and something that we can learn for pop-up shops. I'm really excited. I don't know much about them, so
yay. Hey, I'm so excited to learn from her.
I know. So you get to cookie and listen to us.
Yes.
That will be your Wednesday night. We will miss you as always. It's not the same without you, but.
But then the following week, Miss Chelsea right here.
Yes.
Take her week and focus on her orders, and I will be doing something special with you guys. So.
Yes, I'm very excited for you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. But tonight, thank you guys for sticking around with us. It was a long one. Hopefully you got some designs executed and things while you were listening. But I am Chelsea with Rolling in the Dough AZ.
I'm Melissa with Missy P Sweets. May your cakes never be dry.
And your cookies be shiny and crater free. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.